One of the stories that has touched me the most in my life reading is that of Joyce Meyer, and I've been following her for about 20 years or so now. And her story, every time I hear it, is fresh, it is new. Joyce Meyer experienced a tremendous abuse growing up, sexual abuse multiple times for years by her father. And this led to a lot of devastation. She was an emotional wreck for many years because of that experience that she had. Starting out in life, she had so many troubles, so many problems, including divorce of the first marriage. Things were not just going well. But what did Joyce Meyer do when she started talking about it freely and openly? She started experiencing healing. And what does this mean? She used that very negative experience growing up, which was like a mess, and turned it into a message. And that is why today we're going to be focusing on turning your mess into a powerful message. If we look around the world today, most successful people are people that were able to turn the messes of their life as a raw material that propelled them into the greatness that was designed for them. So your mess is meant to be a raw material for your message. And so, today I'm pulling out of page 28 and page 29 of Adapt and Advance 1.0, faith-based strategies for turning trials into triumph. So if you've not gotten your copy, I encourage you to do that so you can follow through. Most of the videos I'll be making in a couple of weeks, months will be pulled out from pages in the book, and we'll be looking at real life applications and how we can all benefit maximally. I wrote this book with you in mind because I strongly believe there is something about your life that will be ignited when you read this book. There's something in this book that is going to help you to be the best version of yourself. Like that's our mission statement. To figure out and be the best version of ourselves. So there's a place called Forward for You. There's a version of you that is meant to be better than it is right now. And I believe strongly that reading this book will ignite that passion in you to be the best that God has made you to be. Like Joyce Meyer, personally, I've been through some messes too in my life. And on page 29 of the book, I listed a long list. Losing my mother at the age of 7, losing my father at the age of 13, failing chemistry in high school at the age of 16, 17, failing what we call like the pre-med in Nigeria, IGMB, at the age of 17, at the age of 21, struggling with pharmacology and pathology in medical school. At the age of 36, I was when I transferred to the US from Nigeria, which was a lot of work, and adjusting to a new culture with its own new challenges that came with it. At the age of 40 was when I failed USMLE Step 1 examination when I was trying to get into residency. And then at 43 was when I failed the Pride exam when I had 10th percentile in my PGY1 of residency. But despite all of these messes, I've listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over the last years of my life, I've still been able to turn them around and make something good out of life and continue to adapt and advance despite the messes. So that's what this book is about. Adapt and Advance is about you moving forward despite the messes. You being able to pick the mess, use as a raw material to move forward to the next level of your destiny. And what did I do personally to turn these messes around? The first step, which is the main content of today's video, is you've got to look at whatever mess in the face and say, this, you are not going to define me. There's much more to me than what I'm experiencing right now, and decide that the mess can be turned around. So tell yourself, my story is not over. I have something bigger than this story. I have a purpose that is bigger than this story. So the big call to action today for your personal life is whatever that area of your life where you are struggling, whatever that area of life where there is a mess that seems to want to stop you, you've got to stop it and say, decide that this, my story, I have a purpose that is bigger than this mess. And this mess is not going to define me. This mess is not going to be the only thing people talk about me. There's something bigger, there's something better on the other side of the story. So today is a day of decision to decide that whatever mess I'm going through right now is not going to define me. There's a purpose in it that I'm going to fulfill. On page 28 of the book, I talked about the story of Robin Roberts, a journalist who struggled with triple negative breast cancer and eventually had another cancer again after that. But she used a mess, turned a mess into a message. And eventually she was able to publish a book where she shared her story. And the story eventually inspired a lot of people, millions of people. What did she do? She took the mess of the breast cancer and turned it into a message of hope that helped many other people. So messes, when they come, our attitude to it should be, you cannot stop me. My story is not over. So today, tell yourself right now, say it out loud. My story is not over. There's a purpose in this that I'm going to achieve. Like the story of Joyce Meyer that was mentioned at the beginning of this video, she had to decide at a point in her life that she will not let the past define her future. And then she took steps and started talking about it. So the first action step for you today, like I said, is tell yourself, my story is not over. There's a purpose greater than my setbacks. And then you begin to move in that direction. You begin to take steps in that direction. You begin to share it in a way that it's going to be a blessing. Your story will be a blessing to other people. Remember, one of the first things that Viktor Frankl talked about in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, is contribution is key. Even in the concentration camp of those days, those who focused on contribution, who focused on helping other people achieve their goals, seemed to do better. So you have to tell yourself, I'm focusing. My story is not over yet. Say it loud to yourself. There's a purpose greater than my setbacks. My story is not over yet. And then you continue to take steps and plan and move in that direction. That your story is not over yet. There's a purpose that is bigger than your setbacks. So 2 big call to actions today. I've said the first one already. Tell yourself, convince yourself, my story is not over. There's a purpose greater than my setback. That's number 1 call to action. And then begin to write next steps you want to take based on that statement. Then number 2 call to action is our corporate call to action of Adapt and Advance Family. Our big launch is in July 1st, 2025. The ebook is going to be $0.99 through the entire month of July. I want every single one of us that is watching this video, and that's why we're going to leave it at $0.99. That's just $1 ebook. I want every single person watching this video to put on the calendar July 1st to be able to get up to get a copy of the ebook, which is just $1 all over the world. Everybody, I'm looking forward to, if possible, after I get this year 700, we can hit everything that day. That's fine. So I'm looking forward to at least 500 people, 300 to 500 people getting the ebook right on the 1st of July. So that's our call to action corporately. And then as a person, your call to action is your mess can be turned into your message. Tell yourself, my story is not over. Okay, so as we conclude for today, I always like to do a map lamp summary at the end of everything I say. M is meaning making. Again, everything we've said today is about making meaning, which is my story is not over, telling yourself. A is action. The action today is that speaking to yourself. My story is not over is the big action, the first step that you take. Then the other actions will follow after that. P is planning. Is you've got to like sit down, plan. Now that I've said my story is not over, now that I've taken the first action, what else do I need to do? Like Joyce Meyer, I remember she said in some of the books, her books that I read, there was a time she had to start like reading the Bible, preparing to teach. There was a time she started a small Bible study in her living room of just a few people, maybe less than 10 at the beginning, and it began to grow. So you got to have a plan. How do you want to get your story out to help people? Personally, I'm getting my story out through the videos I make. I'm getting my story out through the books that I write. I'm getting my, but even before I got to this point, I sent text messages, for example, to my Fuse boys, sharing my stories with them, encouraging them so whatever, it could just be a text message, it could just be a smile, it could just be an encouragement to somebody, get your story out. L is learning. I'm always reading a book. I do one every week, 52 a year. I encourage you to do at least one every month if you can, or worst case scenario, one every quarter. This is my current book I'm reading, How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I should finish in the next 1 or 2 days and move on to the next book. So whatever book we are reading, make sure you have one book every month that you're reading. It's my strong recommendation. A is Alliance Formation. Again, you can do life alone. I told us the story of Joyce Meyer. I told us the story of Robin Roberts. In fact, the book that Robin Roberts wrote about her story, she wrote it with somebody else, not just alone. So you've got to work with other people as you continue to move forward. Then M is mission statement. Even telling yourself that my story is not over, I have a purpose greater than my setback, could be a mission statement. So whichever way, if you already have one, you can refine it a little bit better, or you could just stick with what you have. If you don't have one yet, today you could just say, I have a purpose greater than my setbacks. That's a mission statement to start with. So make sure you write it clearly somewhere where you can see it if you are new to this, just so that it doesn't fall off the radar, and continue to speak it to yourself every day. I say my mission statement regularly, that is to fulfill God's purpose and to be the best version of myself. As I move from one level of good success and good value to a greater level of good success and good value part time, and to contribute positively to the life of those that God has placed on my path. That's my own goal. That's my own mission statement that I say to myself every single day. So if you don't have one yet, we just say, I have a purpose greater than my setback. That's a good place to start. And as you continue to learn more and develop more and discover more, you could edit it and make it better. My current mission statement, I've refined it over and over the past 20 plus years. So it's not like it's been exactly the same thing for all the years. And then the last one is P, which is prayers. There's a particular Bible verse in Isaiah that says, when I pass through the water, it will not overflow me. When I pass through the fire, it will not burn me. So no matter what you are going through, whether it's through water, it's not meant to overflow you. Fire is not meant to burn you. So you can overcome every single challenge of life that comes your way. And finally, today I'll close with the story of Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa. He was in prison for 27 years. Yes, 27 years. And he rose from prison to presidency. So that tells us that our messages, no matter what they are, if we can tell ourselves that my story is not over and I have a purpose stronger than my setbacks, then we can definitely come out of it and be a better version of ourselves as we move to higher levels in life. So don't let anything stop you. If prison could not stop Nelson Mandela, that struggle in your life cannot stop you. If breast cancer, triple negative breast cancer could not stop Robin Roberts, whatever you're going through cannot stop you. If all the things I listed, like 8 of them today, did not stop me, I'm still moving forward. I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still doing well. And I'm still going forward, and I still have very big dreams. Then nothing can stop you from moving forward. Take your mess as a raw material and turn it to a message. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like the video, share with a friend that you believe this message will be with. Normally, we're going to restream this first over 12 hours. We do that just so everybody all over the world will have a chance to hop in and look at it. So mark your calendar. Always, typically right now, we do restreams on Friday evenings and Sunday evenings for now. So mark your calendar for Friday evenings, normally 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m., about 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and to hop on the Hebrew stream. And then in 24 hours, I'm going to post the single video, which will be about 15 minutes or less, just so that you can If you prefer to just watch the 15 minutes clip alone, then you can watch it. But if you prefer to hop on the restream for 15 minutes or longer, whatever you can do, and you can do both. Thank you so much for your support. I'm so grateful for you, and thank you for everything. Have a wonderful time, and I see you on the other side of that challenge, succeeding in life. Amen.